Good evening. Welcome to the post-match press conference of the opening game here in Sochi. We have the coach of Team Australia with us, and we are going straight with the questions. As you know, we can answer questions in English, Russian, or German. And raise your hand, get a microphone, and present yourself and ask your question. Who wants to start with the first question? There in the back. I'll get a microphone to the lady in the back.
Hi, Ange. You always seem to take losses a little better if the team plays well. With that in mind, how do you assess the game tonight?
Yeah, no, I'm disappointed. No fault of the players, to be fair to them. They stuck to our principles. First half they were just too good for us. We really struggled to get a hold of the game, and we let them we allowed them too much space and probably a little bit too much respect, and they took advantage of that, and they were way too good. I mean, we were probably lucky to go in at 2-1 because they had some good chances and Matty pulled off some good saves, but we did at least crawl back into the game. But the second half was better. I thought we composed ourselves a little bit. We worked a little bit smarter defensively, and we were good with the ball and scored a goal. Maybe could have got another one, but overall, just I guess disappointing. We didn't come here to lose games, and unfortunately we lost tonight.
Okay, next question, the gentleman here in the middle.
Ben McKay, Australian Associated Press. Ange, what's the mood in the dressing room? Because the second half fight back was impressive given the way you started. Have you given yourself something to build on for the Cameroon game?
Look, I don't know about the dressing room. To be honest, I guess I'm just bitterly disappointed. We'll analyse everything and then look ahead. There's no question it's a team full of character and courage. As I said, we're trying to play a certain way against the very best, and it's not easy to do. But they are. They're putting themselves out there and testing themselves as we want them to, and we'll continue to do that. But in terms of the result, it's a loss, and the loss falls on me. It's my responsibility.
Okay, next question, gentleman here.
Kieran Bender, The Guardian. And Germany created quite a few chances down the right-hand flank, including the opening goal. Do you think the three-man defence was the reason for that?
Oh, seriously. No, look, it's not a three-man defence, and if you're going to ask questions about the tactical side of the game, let's do our homework. They certainly caused us some problems down the left-hand side, and we had to make some adjustments at half-time, which I think helped us work better. We got disjointed a little bit, and to be fair to them, they're a good side, and they kind of probe for weaknesses and areas where they can capitalise, and they certainly capitalised on the opportunities they had in the first half. As I said, we were barely clinging on in the first 45 minutes, but again, could have been easy to come out in the second 45 and kind of be fearful or chuck the towel in, but I think it was anything but that.
Okay, gentleman here in the front.
Gabriel Marcotti, ESPN. And you just mentioned there about the adjustments you made at halftime. Can you talk us through what some of those adjustments were and how they helped you play better?
Yeah, look, I think, as I said in the first half, and again, that's the gut feeling I have at the moment. We just sat back a little too deep, and the first goal came from the fact that we were just sitting back a little bit too deep. And as much as you try and set up the team to be brave in terms of where we want to defend, it's I guess human nature that we fell back a little bit, and like I said, probably gave them a little bit too much room and too much respect, and in the end, we were getting pulled out of positions. In the second half, we just said let's stick to our principles, defend a bit higher up the park, as we'd planned to do, and get our wide players right up onto their back four, and it seemed to work better.
Okay, just here in the middle.
Graham Davis from Inside Sport Australia. And can you put any reason on why the team's conceded 3 early goals in halves in the last couple of games?
No, not really. Yeah, we bookended things. We caught one early and then conceded late in the first half and then one early in the second half. So I guess again, we'll analyse the goals and see the areas where we can improve. But hard to say. But ultimately, as I said, I think it's just it was a game where in the first half we just couldn't get a hold of it, and they were very good. In the second half, we worked our way back into the game, and I think for large parts of it, more than matched it with them.
Okay, last few questions. Gentleman here.
Kieran Pender from The Guardian again. You brought off Massimo Luongo at half-time and then Tom Rodgick fairly early in the second half. Can you talk through those two substitutions?
Yeah, look, with Mass, we just wanted to get Robbie Cruz on. We felt that as much as we were having defensive problems, when we got the ball, we were a little bit too static in our movement. And, Robbie makes, really, I guess, decisive runs in behind people, and we thought we could cause him some problems that way and at least ask him some different questions, and then get Aaron a bit deeper, get him on the ball, and it seemed to work well. And Tommy Rogic just worked his socks off. He scored a great goal, and we just wanted some energy in that last sort of little bit. And James Troisi came on and did well. He had a couple of strikes on goal, and gave us what we needed.
Okay, we repeat again with the journalist, lady there, and afterwards the last question for the gentleman here in front.
And with the first half, it's not the first time that perhaps the first half is maybe, I don't know if it's a bit nervy or maybe not as composed as the second half. Is that a concern for you?
Look, again, we'll analyse it and see whether it was something that was structural or it was nerves, or composure. But the only way you can do that is to keep exposing them to this level, and eventually they grow as footballers. You can't prepare them for what they're going to face out there. The only way they can do that is by playing at this level against the very best. And over time, hopefully that composure comes. But like I said, I was. Part of it was, and you've got to play credit to the opposition. I thought they were really bright in the first half. They were energetic. They were moving the ball quickly. They were, pretty decisive in their actions, and we just couldn't hold on.
Okay, and then the last question here in the front. And then can we switch on the light again? Okay, no, that's switching off. That's switching on. Thank you very much.
And just a word on Tommy Rogic's performance and also gut feel at full time, what changes you'll make for the Cameroon game?
Tommy was good. He worked, like I said, he worked real hard. To be fair to him, we didn't get into real great areas in the first half because we were chasing the opposition and we just didn't get enough of the ball to him. But second half he was what we expect him to be, and he'll grow from that. I mean, that's kind of his first game in a big tournament, and he'll get better from that, and I'm sure he'll take confidence from it. In terms of second game, we'll see. We obviously we've got to travel now, and we've got a day less rest than Cameroon, so we've got to make sure that everyone recovers well. I don't think there are any injuries at this stage, and then we'll make some decisions over the next 48 hours.
Okay, so that concludes the press conference
Thank you.
of Team Australia. Thank you very much, and all the best for the rest of the tournament. ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Julian Draxler, who's been elected the man of the match for this opening game here in Sochi. Congratulations with being the man of the match. Maybe a first statement and a first feeling how that feels for you.
Yeah, it was important to. Es war wichtig, das Spiel siegreich zu bestreiten heute, Entschuldigung, und gerade das erste Spiel des Turniers ist immer wichtig, die 3 Punkte tun uns gut und man hat gesehen, dass wir in der ersten Halbzeit gut gespielt haben und dann in der zweiten hat man allerdings gemerkt, dass ein bisschen die Erfahrung fehlt im Spiel, im Spiel dann clever über die Zeit zu bringen, aber ich glaube insgesamt sind wir mit den 3 Punkten zufrieden.
Okay, now we have a couple of questions about the performance of the match during this game. Go ahead, here in the front.
Marco Mader, SED. Hallo Julian. Der Bundestrainer hat ja vorher gesagt, er möchte von dir Führungsqualitäten auf dem Platz sehen.
The coaches said they want to see your leadership skills on the pitch, but also throughout the entire tournament. How did you deal with that?
Ja, so wie vorher auch die beiden Spiele. Ich habe versucht, auf dem Platz vor allen Dingen meine Leistung zu bringen, womit ich der Mannschaft sicherlich am meisten weiterhelfe. Und, ja, klar, neben dem Platz, ich kenne die Abläufe, ich weiß, worauf es ankommt bei der Nationalmannschaft. Deswegen spricht man schon mal mit dem einen oder anderen, aber ich habe es auch schon mal betont, ich bin jetzt nicht derjenige plötzlich
in other words, I said earlier, I'm not the one that all of a sudden is someone who's giving speeches in the dressing room for 15 minutes. No, what's right that we're playing together
last question
on the field well?
Just the gentleman here in front. Just here in front.
Julian, ist es schwieriger für so eine neu zusammengestellte Mannschaft, halt defensive Stabilität sich zu erarbeiten? Also offensive Abläufe scheinen ja leichter zu funktionieren. Und die Frage vielleicht noch einen Ausblick auf das Chile-Spiel, wo es ja vielleicht schon einen Gruppensieg gibt.
Now what about Chile? Chile is about winning.
Ja, ich glaube schon, dass es schwieriger ist, hinten die Feinabstimmung zu finden. Ich glaube, das wird noch gerne eine andere Trainingseinheit brauchen, vielleicht auch das eine oder andere Spiel. Das erarbeitet man sich nicht kurz in 1-2 Wochen, also das braucht schon ein bisschen länger. Aber ich glaube, dass wir insgesamt für das erste Spiel ganz ordentlich gemacht haben und vor allem nach vorne, wenn viele gute Fußballer reinlaufen sind, ist es meistens leichter als die Abstimmung gehabt.
Okay, thank you very much, Julian. And then we go back to the dressing room area, and then soon we'll be here with the coach. Okay, now you're back with the coach of Team Germany. Welcome and congratulations for winning your opening match. Maybe a first statement and first feeling on how the match went for you.
Also zuerst mal bin ich natürlich zufrieden, dass wir die ersten 3 Punkte eingefahren haben. Ich bin der Meinung, dass wir die erste Halbzeit sehr gut gespielt haben, gute Kombinationen hatten und alles eigentlich unter Kontrolle. Wir haben viel investiert in Laufwege nach vorne. Das Schlechte an der ganzen Geschichte war, dass wir einfach auch nur 2:1 geführt haben. Wir hatten schon auch viele Chancen rausgespielt. Und leider ist versäumt, da auch vielleicht noch ein drittes oder ein viertes Tor zu machen. Australien hatte außer dem Tor, den Schuss, der abgebrannt war, eigentlich auch keine Torchancen. In der ersten Halbzeit war
Australia didn't really have any opportunities except that bounce shot. Some approaches there in the first half. And in the second half, after 60 minutes, we've been losing our common thread in many ways. And our attacks were not quite as consistent. We were not quite single-minded in finalising them and finally scoring. So I think we can work on that. We need to work on that to retain our stability that we have shown in the first half. But no matter what it was, with a new team, I think many things have worked really well. I don't think you should have excessively high expectations. In general, I should say very good approaches displayed by my team. And therefore, I'm very happy, very confident.
Any questions? Here in the front again.
Ja, Herr Löw, Gratulation zum 3:2 heute gegen Australien.
Congratulations, Mr. Löw, 3-2 against Australia. Leon Goretzka was involved in all 3 goals. How did you see his actions? Yes, he was very strong. In the past days, he's been involved in our activities, and this match again has shown that he's a very present personality. He has been working a lot. He has won one-on-ones in the defence, and he's actually running from the midfield deep into the field. That is also very hard to fight back on the part of the opponents. And in the third goal, you've seen that. It was a nice pass that he did, but you have to open the path first where the ball's going, and this is something he did, and I think he has a very good, has had a very good impression of me. He's very fit, very prepared.
Hello, Mr. Ivan Robb from Brazil. Julian Drexler is only 23 years old, and he's the captain of this young team. Do you see him as the big leader of this new German generation?
Ist natürlich jetzt auch Kapitän, weil der
Well, of course he's the captain because he's the player in terms of his obviously young age, but he has a wealth of experience. In 2014 he was on board in 2016, so he has done quite a number of caps also. And so far, this role, which is new for him, I think he has played really well. And he has had a good effect on our team because there's a lot of good energy in this team with his presence, and everyone's very ambitious, and I think he really is a player that the less experienced players really can relate to. For some of them, it was the first tournament here in Russia, so they are really seeing him as a role model in many ways, and therefore I'm really happy with what he did also, on the field and off. And he's doing it really well. And this responsibility, by giving someone responsibility like him, he can deal with it really very competently and intelligently. And I think he's in a good way.
Okay, the next question, gentleman over there. Thank you very much.
Herr Löw, können Sie schon mal gleich einen Ausblick auf das Chile-Spiel in
can you give us some indication about the Chilean match in Kazan? And say something about Bernd Lehner and how he played?
Chile ist natürlich jetzt noch 3 Tage weg. Jetzt müssen wir das Spiel mal so ein bisschen
3 days to go, right? Until that match comes up, and so we'll have to analyze how we played, and let's also maybe derive some findings or learn some lessons from how we played. Now, of course, not all of it went well, and now we understand what needs to be improved, what could be made better, something that was certainly not an optimum choice today. But Chile is going to be a match on an entirely different level. Because Chile is playing with great intensity and variability. So we have to make sure that this stability is retained over the entire 90 minutes, right? Not 60, 90. Bernd Lehner, Australia in the first half has not really developed any opportunities. There was just one bounce shot and it's falling in front of his feet, and out of 6 16 meters, that wasn't easy to stop. So he really scored it right into the goal. The second one was slightly deflected, that free kick. It's actually the second goal shot they had. So, as I said before, he could have held on to that ball. He let go, but he's a good goalkeeper, no doubt about it. And in training, he has always made a good impression. Maybe that was a mistake, but it's no problem for me at all.
Herr Löw, können Sie was sagen? Sie haben von Ansätzen gesprochen. Waren die auch gerade so bei Julian Brandt heute zu erkennen in der ersten Halbzeit? Und ist es eben, dass ein bisschen Feintuning fehlt?
Or do you need more fine-tuning? Is that what you're saying?
Ja, natürlich, weil wer erwartet jetzt nach 10 Tagen,
who would expect after 10 days everything to be running all right and being top-notch? Mind you, this is a team that has never really played together in that composition. For those very few 10 days, we have done some really great actions, and we really have dominated Australia in the first half. So the first goal was really prepared well by Julian Brandt. Now he has been running back a lot, so after about an hour he was running out of puff, literally. But with his quickness and with his one-on-one strength, I think that was very well done. So he's a young player. So in that, I think he needs to mature a bit. Again, many good approaches I've seen in the first half. And that has been remarkable, truly remarkable, in the sense that this team has always coming back to these 2-3 priorities that we have agreed on. And they realized that so quickly and implemented rather swiftly. And I'm really happy about that. And this is something that couldn't be expected really up front.
Gentleman over there.
Ja, Herr Löw, Sie haben vor ein paar Tagen gesagt, dass Chile der größte Favorit ist. Nachdem in diesem Turnier, nachdem alle Mannschaften schon gespielt haben, glauben Sie das Gleiche, dass Chile der größte Favorit ist im Turnier?
Chile, the biggest favorite in the tournament? Well, Chile is one of the world's best teams. No matter what you think about this tournament, Chile is well experienced. They have a good team performance and fantastic individual players. And in terms of tactics, they're flexible as hardly any other team. So they can change things around while they're playing, while the match is still ongoing. They know, the players know how they need to run, what path, forwards, backwards. They're very powerful. They quickly, extremely quickly changing their positions as well while they're playing. So I think that's an absolute amazement to see how they're playing. Any tournament has different dynamics, but generally I would say in this setup, in this lineup, they're going to present themselves here. They're one of the best teams in the world.
Questions, the gentleman here in the front, and then the last one will be all in the back.
Hi, Dom Farrell, Perform. I'd like to ask about how you used Brandt and Draxler in the first half. How Brandt was very wide down the right and Draxler was free to roam all over the place when maybe we expected 2 orthodox wingers. Why did you use your 2 attacking wide men in such different ways?
Weiß nicht, Julian Draxler ist ein Spieler, der so hinter den Spitzen agiert und natürlich auch im Spiel gewisse Freiheiten natürlich auch braucht für sein Spiel. Der kommt mal über rechts, über halb links. Julian Brandt war eher eben auch eingeteilt auf der rechten Seite, in tiefe zu gehen, Läufe in den Rücken der Abwehr zu machen. Das hat er versucht, das Tor sehr schön vorbereitet. Auf der anderen Seite wussten die auch, dass er nach hinten möglicherweise auch ein bisschen gebunden wird und diese Wege auch mitmachen muss. Das muss er natürlich auch lernen auf diesem ganz hohen Niveau, weil er gerade auf den Seiten ist das Spiel unheimlich anspruchsvoll im läuferischen Bereich. Und war klar, dass er vielleicht dann im Laufe des Spieles auch ein bisschen müde wird und den Druck nach vorne hin nicht immer so machen kann. Und Draxler spielt eine andere Position bei uns, der spielt eher zentral. Anspielstation, der auch dann aus der Tiefe in die Spitze reingeht, der aus der Mitte raus agiert, weil er eben auch einen sehr guten Abschluss hat.
Also because he can score really well. Yes, different positions of the 2 different players, but there we are.
Okay, and then the last question, the gentleman in the back.
Ben McKay, Australian Associated Press. Congratulations, coach. A question about Australian football. We are revolution. We're changing the way we're playing. 3 at the back, higher pressing. Just on the evidence of tonight, do you think that we can develop and have more of an impact at international level on tonight's evidence?
Ich habe auf jeden Fall auch jetzt festgestellt, dass es schon auch eine Entwicklung gab, und zwar eine positive. Diese Mannschaft hat zum Beispiel 2010 und auch danach vielleicht noch ein, zwei Jahre sehr viel mit hohen, langen Bällen agiert. Das war für uns zum Beispiel jetzt 2010 relativ einfach zu verteidigen. Seit 3-4 Jahren haben sie ihren Stil geändert, unabhängig ob sie dritt oder zu viert spielen, aber sie kombinieren mehr. Sie spielen nicht die langen Bälle, sondern sie spielen eben auch Kombinationsfußball. Und diese Mannschaft hat natürlich auch den Mut und auch manchmal die Frechheit, eben den Gegner, egal wer das auch ist, ob das jetzt Brasilien war oder Deutschland war oder ein anderes Spiel, hoch anzugreifen und hoch zu attackieren, früh zu stören. Das machen ja nicht so viele Mannschaften, gerade gegen uns ziehen sich häufig die Mannschaften zurück. Und Australien hat da schon auch eine Portion Mut in sich. Ich bin der Meinung, sie haben sich auf fußballerisch die letzten 2-3 Jahre entwickelt.
They have developed really positively in those last 2 to 3 years.
This concludes then the press conference of Team Germany. Thank you very much and all the best for the next games in the tournament.